All right, y'all. How y'all doing? I'm in Cairo, taking my pilgrimage, my version of Mecca, going to Mecca, and I did a couple things. Went to the museums. I saw a couple bodies. And I just told my young apprentice, my young man, this. I saw a mummy with braids, and the braids were fresh. I swear to God, it looked like the braids were fresh. Whatever embalming fluid or whatever they use, it worked great on the hair because it kept that shit intact. That shit looked brand new. The broad had braids. I couldn't take a picture because it said no photography allowed. I got the picture of the little uh not monument, but the little tower joint that they got outside the collection where they say no photography, please. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't. I'm gonna go back in there and try to sneak that joint in. I'm gonna try to sneak a GoPro in and get that shit. Anyway, um, I'm doing this video based on the third eye. I've been seeing the eye of Haru everywhere, obviously, and it stimulated some thinking, and I decided to talk about the third eye, or your first eye, in all of reality, your first eye. So, number one, have you ever played PlayStation or Xbox or something like that, and you played somebody, like, probably not in like a sports version, but let's say a Call of Duty or something like that, right? If you notice on a Call of Duty or whatever, you have a split screen, right? So you have two different visions, right? You over here and you over here, kind of like your own two eyes. Have you noticed that you don't have a split screen with your own eyes? You see everything as one. You can see, and even though your eyes are not centered, you can see the center right in front of you. You don't have split screen vision. This is because you have a first eye. And that first eye is where you truly see from. These eyes right here are merely light code accumulators or light code receivers. And then the third eye inside makes a picture, creates a picture of what you're seeing. And you move about your day. You see a desk, you see a table, you see a door, you do blah, 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 X, Y, Z. So your third eye is something that you are using all the time. They always say, waken your third eye. You're born with it open. Now, you might not understand its power and what else it can do, but you're born with it open. If you can see, your third eye is operating, because you would never have a singular vision without it. Your third eye has rods and cones like a regular eye, okay? And your third eye is also the receiver of consciousness, or your kundalini rising, which is commonly known as the epiphany. When you get an epiphany, you go, aha. And what do they show it as in the movie? They show it as the light going off in your head, right? You can finally see. Now you can see, right? When you come to a higher realization of something, you can see it now. This is because of the power of your third eye. And it is true that when you do drugs, whatever, you're going to distort that image. Some people that have a lazy eye, etc., you're really messing with your third eye chakra. You're damaging the middle of your brain, and it's trying to get you to see what you're doing and to stop, which is why it's making one of your eyes go like that most of the time. And this third eye is ruled by Vulcan, which is an asteroid belt between, and this Vulcan is something in esoteric astrology. If you ever want to look into it, you have to read a book by Alice. Well, the book I read was by Alice Bailey, and she was a great mystic, I guess you could call her. She was born in a time where in that time, Madame Blavatsky and Alice Bailey types and stuff like that, they all went to the Indian astrology school, so to speak, and were learning the the different the nakshatras, the dashas, and all the different saved. Because in reality, the Indians have the the most information when it comes to the old astrology, even though they go by sidereal astrology, which I completely am against. I go with tropical because their sidereal astrology is based on where the star was, way back when, which to me, it's apparent that everything is moving. So you having something stationary is irrelevant. Like you trying to keep it stationary for you is egotistical. Anyway, that's my opinion. But so your third eye is the house of where, or the place in which you receive your epiphany. And that is the Kundalini rising, the electric shooting up from your root chakra all the way to your third eye chakra, in which you can see. They talk about fluoride, casting a film over your third eye, which is, I'm sure is true. I'm not a scientist. But weed, drugs, and the other stuff, after the initial effect of it opening your eyes, like mushrooms and stuff like that, mushrooms will open your eyes, weed will open your eyes. I'm sure I've never done it, but maybe heroin and all these other drugs probably do it too. But there is a residual effect. There's a consequence for these actions because drugs are a cheat code and you're going to have to pay a price for it. In order to raise your Kundalini naturally, it takes more intense study and development of seeing in that mystical way. And seeing in that mystical way is about usually kind of scorpionic in its essence, meaning if anybody knows Pluto and Scorpio, the essence of Pluto and Scorpio is a kind of like if Pluto was a sound on the musical scale, it would be the big loud boom, like the hard drum or something like that. That would be spaced out. It's not something that happens over time, every day. It's something happens here and you're not quite sure. It's very mystical. Something happens here and you're not quite sure. Then something else happens 7 months later, and you're like, what is that about? And then another year later, something else, and then later on you realize, oh, all these three things are part of a storyline that Pluto is playing for me. And since Uranus and Pluto are polar opposites, Uranus is exalted in Pluto. No, Uranus is exalted in Scorpio. Excuse me. Uranus is exalted in Scorpio. Since Uranus is exalted in Scorpio, this shows what the highlight is. It's kind of like when you say exalted, it's like kind of like outlining something in black, or having a red picture with a blue background, or having a white picture with a black background. Something that makes it stand out. So the Uranic. And it's funny how Uranus is your anus when it's really your third eye. It's not. It's nothing could be except for your crown chakra. Nothing could be further away from your butt than the planet Uranus. You know what I'm saying? But they call it Uranus to throw you off. And it is like I said, exalted in Scorpio, and the scorpionic events that happen in your life have the element of Uranus in it, because eventually you go, aha, that's what happened. Now I get it. Now I see. You dig? So this is why knowledge is so important, because your first eye is in the center of your brain, and the electrical stimulation that's going on in your brain, the synapses firing in your brain, is what that first eye sees. That's what its light is. These two eyes outside decode photons or light. Your third eye can decode photons as well from here, but it also decodes just plain electricity, impulses, electrical impulses. So having data and having knowledge inside your brain will allow your first eye to see, so that when you say something wrong or you make a mistake, you can re-register, re-see what's in your brain. Like, oh, no, I'm tripping. I shouldn't have said that because I remember. So you can't see. This is why the truth is the light. And this is why knowledge is power, because knowledge will give you the opportunity to see the truth. It will give you opportunity to see the light. And this is what the shape and the sound of not the shape, the sound or the size, but the imagery of the Eye of Horus, where it has a bird in the front and it has the eye and then it has a snake coming out of it. It represents your brain waves and your electrical impulse. That's the snake representing your brain waves and the electrical impulses. The bird's eye is what they want you to have, and which is why the bird is going like this, right? The bird is kind of doing what Will Smith was doing to Jada Pinkett, which shows Will Smith don't know what he's talking about because he made his woman the eye when he's the eye. She should be doing that to him. But anyway, no wonder they got that situation. But so this is why Horus or Haru is a hawk or a falcon. I think, he's a falcon, I believe. But anyway, he has a bird's eye view. He has a bird's eye view, magnified vision. Anybody that knows birds, I'm not sure about the falcon itself. I'll study it more. But I know an eagle has two visions, a central, like in its center, it's normal, and then it has a ring, or excuse me, its center is magnified by 30, and then it has a ring outside of that center, which is normal vision. So it has two visions at the same time. A lot of birds have these traits because as they fly high and look for prey, they need to be able to see the ground. So this is just a quick video on that. But your first eye is not only something esoteric and crazy, like not crazy, but esoteric and something strange or hidden to think about. In actual facts, in an everyday basis, you decode light every single moment when you open your eyes, and your third eye creates a actual image and picture for you every single time. And from there, you can speculate and see the different layers that come about with understanding that this organ, which secretes melanin, right? It's an organ. How this organ functions, not only in a physical 3D sense, but in the esoteric realm as well, and why it was so highlighted in Egypt.